I will be using a 334-page document by MCAT Bros for the Psych and Sociology section, content review for Gestalt Principles. In the most simplest terms, Gestalt Principles explains how we perceive things the way we do. Gestalt Principles is what lets us see the whole image, even though we don't literally see the whole image. We're seeing parts of the image, but because of Gestalt Principles, we're able to perceive the whole object. So, for example, similarity. Similarity helps us see items as a whole because when we see the things are similar, when we see items that are similar, we tend to group them together. Just for example, in this image right here, we see squares, we see circles. So the way we group them is we group them vertically because we're looking at them as how they belong with each other because they're similar. These squares are like the ones that are also squares, so we're already automatically looking at it as groups because they're so similar. Next, we have here prognons, which is reality organized, reduced to simplest forms possible. So, in this image, there's how many rings here? We see one, two, three, four, five. Our brain doesn't really tell us that we're looking at five circles that are organized in a way that's three on top and two at the bottom. No, we see this all as an Olympic ring because this is the symbol for the Olympics. We're seeing them as more than the complete shape that it is. We're seeing it as a whole. We're like, okay, I know that these five rings signify the Olympics, so we're just looking at Olympic rings. We're not so much thinking about how it's five circles and how the way that they're formed and the way that they're together. Next is proximity. We tend to group objects that are close together. We naturally group the closer things together rather than the things that are farther apart. So we group these circles here on the left with these circles here on the right because they're closer together. That's because of proximity. They're close together, so they're grouped together. Next is continuity. Continuity, lines are seen as following the smoothest path. For example, you group the line together. So you look at the line as a very smooth, simple path. We see our line, so we're looking at it like this. We easily identify a line from these groups of these just random shapes. We see a line. Next is closure. Objects that are objects are grouped together and are seen as a whole. Our mind fills in the missing information. For example, you see here in this image, our mind is automatically filling in the triangle that's missing because we're seeing everything as a whole. And because of closure, just our principle of closure, we see that triangle, although it's not there. Our brain fills it in. Next is symmetry. Our mind perceives objects as being symmetrical and forming around a center point. Right here, automatically, we see that this left side is symmetrical to this right side. Next is the law of common faith. Now, the law of common faith refers to being able to see things that are moving together as a unit. So here, for example, if there are an array of dots and half the dots are moving upward while the other half are moving downward, we would perceive the upward moving dots and the downward moving dots as two distinct units. So if we see some groups of dots going up, and then we see another group going down, we're going to perceive them as not as one group, but two different units, because one is going one way and one is going the other. We see this here in this image, these jets or these airplanes all going at the same direction. We see them as one unit together. Next is law of past experiences. The law of past experience implies that under some circumstance, visual stimuli are categorized according to our past experience. If two objects tend to be observed within close proximity or small temporal intervals, the objects are more likely to perceive together. For example, the English language contains 26 letters that are grouped to form words using a set of rules. If an individual reads an English word they have never seen, they use the law of past experience to interpret the letter L, and well, the uppercase letter L and lowercase letter L as two letters beside each other, rather than using the law of closure to combine the letters and interpret the object as an uppercase U. So the things that we know in the past or knowledge helps us also information of what we're seeing. Next is contextual effects. The context in which stimuli are presented and the process of perceptual organization contribute to how people perceive those stimuli. And also that context can establish the way in which stimuli are organized. So, for example, if we see a couple, let's say we go to Disneyland, I'm drawing Disney, and we see a couple, and then we see that one couple is holding a ring, and one is so shocked. Well, we're perceiving this based on what we know, what it's like. We know what the ring is for. We know what couples usually are doing when they have a ring. So we're seeing, oh, you're in Disney. This is an engagement. So our past experiences, our knowledge that we have before, is helping us interpret what we're seeing.